Hi, I'm Sean with Catalina Rug, and in this video we're going to be covering oversized or very large Persian and Oriental rugs. So our objective for this video is to give you several different tips and recommendations if you're looking for a rug in these sizes. So what we're going to do is first we're going to talk about the typical dimensions of rugs that you can expect in this oversized category. And then we're going to talk a bit about where you can use these rugs, like which types of rooms these size rugs are recommended for. And then after, we'll talk a bit about our recommendations when it comes to using rug padding for very large rugs. And then we'll start getting into several different criteria. So for example, we'll talk about the pile height of the rug. We'll talk about rugs with high knot density or silk and wool rugs. And then we'll give you recommendation as far as what types of Persian and Oriental rugs that you can look into based off of these criteria. So if you're in the market for a very large Persian and Oriental rug, or you just want to learn more about this size category, then stick around, and all that is coming up now. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go over the typical dimensions that you can expect the oversized rugs to come in. And first I'm going to give you the width in feet and then the length in feet. And something to also note is that none of these sizes are going to be exact, of course, because these rugs are hand knotted, and because they're made using the metric system. When you convert them into feet, you're going to get sometimes a few inches larger, a few inches shorter. So when we say, for example, 9 by 12, 9 feet by 12 feet, it might be 9 feet 2 inches by 12 feet 5 inches. Just remember that none of these sizes are going to be exact. You can expect when you look into any of these dimensions that you're going to have a few inches shorter or higher. So with that, the typical dimensions that you can expect in the oversized category are going to be 9 by 12, so 9 feet by 12 feet, and then 10 by 13, so 10 feet wide, 13 feet long, then 10 by 14, 11 by 16, 12 by 16, and then all the way up to typically 14 by 22 feet long. Of course, it could get even larger than that, but the typical range is going to go anywhere starting from 9 by 12 up to 12 by 16 and even up to 14 by 22. Alright, so next let's go over where we typically seen oversized rugs being used. And of course this all depends on your room and the layout of your room and many different variables, but here we're just going to list off some of the places that we've seen our clients use oversized rugs and what we recommend. So definitely you can use them in large living rooms, especially if you want the rug to go underneath the couch or underneath the part of the couch. So you would use like a 9 by 12, 10 by 13, 10 by 14, it depends on the size of the living room. Also, we've seen them being used a lot in dining rooms when you're dealing with a larger dining room table and you want to make sure that when you pull the chairs out, the chairs are going to still sit on top of the rug. That's a pretty big thing to consider when it comes to picking the right size for your dining room. And then of course you could use them in a larger bedroom where you could put the larger rug underneath the bed and you still have plenty of rug sticking out from the bed, so the bed is not covering the entire rug. And then also you can use it in a home office if you have a home office and you would cover a lot of the office area with the rug. And of course you could use it outside of a house. So for example, if you're in a commercial building or a hotel or dealing with a banquet hall, large oversized rugs are usually what is required for those kind of areas. So those are just some ideas in terms of where you can use these size rugs. And of course it really depends on the layout of your room and many different variables. Next, let's go over our recommendations when it comes to using rug padding for your oversized rug. So when it comes to oversized rug, because of their size and weight, typically the rug padding is not going to be really required to keep it from moving around because the weight itself will keep the rug in place. However, there's a couple different situations where we recommend definitely using rug padding. One is if you're planning to use heavy furniture on top of your rug, so whether that's going to be a dining table or a heavy coffee table, or for example, couch, like a very heavy couch, using the rug padding underneath the rug is going to help cushion the weight and keep some of that weight off the rug and distribute it into the rug padding. And then another situation is when you're dealing with a room or area that's going to have medium to high humidity, or you're in a region that has medium to high humidity, then the rug padding sitting underneath the rug is going to help the rug from keeping away moisture and absorbing too much moisture from the ground, and it's going to keep your rug drier. So that's definitely good for the rug. So those are the couple different situations where we recommend using rug padding. Otherwise, you're not going to really have too much problem with the rug moving around because of its weight. Now that we went over some of those general recommendations, we can start getting into the recommendations we have in terms of what types of Persian and Oriental rugs you can choose based off of different category. And the first thing I want to go over is that when it comes to the oversized rugs, you're going to typically find them in traditional or city-made Persian rugs, and of course rugs that are made in Pakistan, for example Kazakh rugs or Ushak rugs. And you're going to find some in village Persian rugs, for example in Hariz and Bakhtiyari. You're not really going to find any oversized rugs when it comes to the tribal category, so just keep that in mind. Next, we're going to go over a couple different criterias such as high knot density and silk and wool pile, and I'm going to give you some recommendations as far as what types of Persian and Oriental rugs you can look into for this oversized category. So if you're looking for high knot density rug, that's rugs with high knots per square inch, and of course these are the rugs that are going to show a lot more intricacies and details in their pattern, then you'll want to look into Tabriz, Kashan, Mashhad, Qom, Isfahan, and Nain. Those 6 types of Persian rugs will offer you those higher knot density rugs. Now if you're looking into silk and wool rugs, so for example you want the pile to be made of silk and wool, and of course silk and wool rugs are typically going to have high knot density as well, then here are the 4 different types of Persian rugs you could look into. So Tabriz, Qom, Isfahan, and Nain are going to offer you a lot of different choices when it comes to silk and wool rugs that are made in this oversized category. Alright, so in this next criteria, we're going to look at pile height, which I think is a pretty important criteria, especially it depends on where you're planning to use your rug. So for example, if you're planning to use your rug in a high traffic area, then definitely I recommend you look into higher pile rugs that have a thicker pile that could handle higher traffic better. So if you are looking into rugs with high pile, thicker pile, then you can take a look at Hariz, which is a village Persian rug. You can look at Mashhad as well as Sarugh. So those 3 types of Persian rugs usually have thicker piles and can handle heavy traffic. Now if you're looking for something in the middle, something balanced that has a medium-sized pile, you can look into Bukhara rugs and Khal Mohammadi rugs, which are made in Pakistan. They have a more medium-sized pile. Also you could look into the famous Tabriz rugs, and you could also look into Kashan rugs, which have similar pile height usually to Tabriz. And then finally, if you're looking for something that has a thinner pile, whether you have preference for that or you're dealing with a lot of doors, for example, opening over the rug and you're concerned about clearance issues, then you want to look into Ushak rugs and Kazakh rugs, which are both made in Pakistan, and they tend to have a lower to low medium pile height. Now the next criteria we're going to look at is going to be design. So based off of your preference or the feel and the look of the room, you want to choose different types of designs. And so we're going to go over some of the most popular designs and what types of Persian and Oriental rugs will offer you those designs. First off, we'll start off with floral design. So if you're looking for a floral design rug, whether it's going to be a floral medallion or floral all over, you could look into Tabriz, Sarugh, Kashan, and Mashhad, those all being the city-made Persian rugs. And of course you could look into Bakhtiyari, which is really beautiful village Persian rugs that offer these oversized rugs that are made in floral design. Usually they'll come in floral medallion design. And then you could also look into Ushak, which are rugs made in Pakistan, which have really beautiful floral all over and medallion design. Now, when it comes to geometric design, there's a couple of types of rugs that we recommend. One of them is the famous Hariz rugs, which are village Persian rugs. They make very high pile, heavy duty, oversized rugs with the geometric design. And also you could look into Kazakh rugs, which are made in Pakistan, that have really nice, bold geometric patterns and a lot of different options in both medallion and all over. And when it comes to Harati design, this is another famous type of design, also known as fish design. You could look into Tabriz and Sarugh. Both of those are city Persian rugs. And when it comes to gold design, this is where you have an all over pattern with the gulls, which is the little flowers, and it's all over the rug. You could look into Bohora. Bohora rugs will offer some oversized category rugs that have this gold design. Now, if you want to learn more about any of these type of designs, then I invite you to check out all of our videos that we have, and you can learn a lot more about all the different designs that we're going over here, as well as other more uncommon designs and what types of rugs that we recommend for each one. All right, so the next criteria that I like to go over with you is brightness versus darkness. And this is one of the criteria that we more recently started talking about in our videos, and I think it's pretty important because depending on how the room is going to look and feel, and of course depending on how you're planning to use the rug, this is important to learn about. So when it comes to brighter looking rugs, we would recommend looking into Tabriz, Mashhad, Nain, and Kashan. Those 4 types of Persian rugs that offer a lot of brighter colors. And of course there is Ushak, which is made in Pakistan, that offers a lot of lighter and brighter rugs. Now when it comes to darker rugs, and this will be, for example, useful if you're planning to use your oversized rug in a dining room area where you can expect a lot of spills and stains, and you would want a rug that doesn't easily show those, and generally speaking, darker rugs will help with that. And what we would recommend, it would be Hariz rugs, Bakhtiyari, Sarugh, and Tabriz. Tabriz here makes both lighter rugs and larger rugs. Well, they make a lot of different variations of rugs. So those are our recommendations when it comes to bright versus dark rugs. The last criteria that I wanted to talk about briefly is price and value. If you're looking for an oversized rug and you want to get something that's relatively affordable and has really good value, then I would recommend looking into Bakhtiyari rugs. These are Persian rugs that are made in villages, and they offer a lot of options in the oversized category, and they tend to be a little bit lighter weight compared to the other types of rugs. So definitely Bakhtiyari is a good option. Now, when it comes to rugs that are a little bit harder to find in the oversized category and tend to be quite pricey, it's going to be the Esfahan, Nain, and Qom rugs. Those 3 types of rugs, generally you're going to have less options, and when you do find them, you're going to see that they're going to be quite expensive. So that's just something briefly I wanted to touch on when it comes to different types of rugs and values. Alright, so this concludes our video on oversized and very large Persian Oriental rugs. I really hope that you found this video helpful. Now, if you want to learn more about this size category or any other size category, or if you want to learn more about any of the types of Persian and Oriental rugs that we talked about in this video, then I invite you to go over to catalinarug.com, and you could look up any of the types there. You could look up any of the size categories there. We have a lot more videos for you so you can learn more, and we have a huge selection when it comes to the different types and sizes, so you could look at your options. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, then I invite you to like and subscribe and comment below, and I will see you in the next video.